Mrs. Zimmerman, I put the papers from 8 corporations on your desk, so take care of them, please. I need them done by tonight.
What? Oh, hello, Miss Forbes.
Hi, just take care of the papers, will you? And make sure you don't make any mistakes. Just because you're 65 years old and just a part-time worker doesn't mean you can do a lousy job.
Hold on, Miss Forbes. I won't be able to finish these by tonight. Today and tomorrow's a day off for me.
What? Why are you just taking a day off?
I told you this already, right? I needed you to hand in the papers by yesterday since I wouldn't be available today and tomorrow.
What? You never told me such a thing. Anyways, we need these neat papers done by tomorrow morning. You can't just say you're not available because you're on vacation or something.
Are you being serious right now? Why not ask the manager what to do about it instead of complaining to me, the part-time worker?
What? What do you mean ask the manager? This is your job. Don't you get paid to do this?
Complaining about it by text isn't going to get those papers done, you know? You need to ask the manager what to do.
Huh? Stop trying to make other people do your work for you. Why are you acting so superior anyways? You're just a part-time worker, right? You seem to not understand. Unlike you, I'm actually a contracted employee at this company.
I know that. You just graduated from an elite college, right?
Oh, I get it. So is that the reason? You're looking down on me since I'm new here, right?
I'm not trying to act superior, but I need you to do your work properly.
Huh? What's with the attitude? You think the others are going to forgive you talking to me like this? I'm gonna tell the CEO about this.
Just what exactly are you trying to say?
People your age should already be retired. But here you are working part-time. I wonder why. Do you have some sort of huge debt or something? Unlike me, who graduated from college and is guaranteed to be promoted soon, you're just an uneducated good-for-nothing that receives a salary for doing nothing, right? And to think that I was trying to help you contribute to the company by doing some work for once. What kind of person just takes a day off suddenly and refuses to do work? You're so impolite. Don't you have any manners?
Miss Forbes, are you done talking now?
What?
I only took a day off since it's exactly 1 year since my mother passed away. I'm actually quite busy right now, so let's end this conversation.
Huh? Come to the office and take care of these papers right now.
I can't even if I wanted to. I'm currently 4 hours away from the office.
4 hours? Just where exactly are you right now?
It doesn't matter where I am right now. I can't take care of those papers for you. Period. Will you please just ask the manager what to do already? Didn't they teach you this during training? Always tell the manager if you have a problem. Especially if it's something unexpected.
Why are you just telling me this now? This is going to make me look so bad, and it's all your fault.
How is this my fault? I told you to give me the papers by yesterday, right? This is your own fault, Miss Forbes. Even if you are a new employee, you've been working here for 10 months already now, right? And you still can't even do such basic things as reporting to the manager? You've made me lose my temper. Goodbye then. I'll see you next week.
What? Wait! You're just going to leave? What's with the attitude, though? Just who exactly do you think you are? You're just a part-time employee here. You can't be replaced anytime, do you hear me? You better know your place or face the consequences.
Good evening, Miss Sungren. Sorry for disturbing you on your day off. I'd heard it's been exactly 1 year since your mother passed away. You have my condolences. Anyways, we took care of the papers from A Corporations.
Good evening, Mr. Rowland. Thanks for taking care of the papers for me. Sorry for causing a hassle.
Don't be. It's not your fault. I heard Mrs. Forbes forgot to get them to you before your leave. Still though, Mrs. Forbes' attitude is just too much.
Tell me about it.
Yes, it's true that she does do her job better than most of the other new employees, but she just has no respect for others.
She's probably acting this way because she did so well on the project we asked her to take care of to test her skills.
She only did well because you're supporting her. The other new employees who also did well understand that they only succeeded because of your help. And I've been modestly learning from our senior employees and asking for advice ever since. Mrs. Forbes, on the other hand, thinks it was all her doing and is getting overconfident.
It looks like it. Having confidence isn't a bad thing, but having too much is.
So you think so too? Should we ask her to take care of that project?
What project?
We've been asked by headquarters to send 2 new employees to work on a deal we're going to make with D Corporations from America. We were planning on sending you as well to support these 2 new employees. The best in our company are also going to be involved in this, so I thought it would be a good educational opportunity for Miss Forbes. You know, teach her that there are people much more competent than her.
I see.
If this still doesn't work, we'll have to think things through again, though. I don't want to have to fire her.
This proves that I'm the best. I haven't even been working here for 1 year yet. I was chosen to take part in a project involving a company from America. It must be because I graduated an elite university and because of my past successes.
Miss Forbes. 2 new employees were going to be chosen to participate in this trade deal with D Corporations from the start, as a way for them to gain experience and educate the future leaders of this company. How people evaluate you depends on the work you do from now. You haven't been proven to be the best yet. Don't get that wrong.
Yeah, it's not really convincing coming from a 65-year-old part-time worker. Why do you keep talking like this to your company? Anyways, you're only going to be coming with me as support, right? Which means you have to do what I say.
That's not what me supporting you means.
Yeah, stop talking back at me. You should probably watch your attitude.
Funny, because I wanted to say the same exact thing.
Good evening, Miss Erngin. I told Miss Forbes she would be working on the deal with D Corporations from America this morning. What was her reaction?
Good evening, Mr. Rowland. I received some pretty amusing texts from her this afternoon. She says that this proves she's the best, and that I have to do what she says as her support.
I see. I did tell her that you would be only there to give her advice, not to do what she says, though.
Mr. Rowland, did Miss Forbes get into this company using connections?
Oh, so you know this.
More or less. Wasn't the CEO's wife's maiden name Forbes?
Yes, Mrs. Forbes is her cousin's daughter.
I see.
Please don't tell this to the others. The CEO told her that if she uses her position to do harm, she would be fired immediately. I know it's a hassle, but please take care of her for just a bit more.
I understand.
Miss Zimmerman, can you make the presentation in Japanese for tomorrow's meeting?
I wondered who was sending me texts on my office phone at this hour. Aren't you supposed to take care of that? I'm supposed to make an English presentation based off the presentation you make in Japanese.
Let's switch roles. You make the presentation in Japanese and I'll translate it into English.
The reason you weren't tasked with the job of making the presentation in Japanese is so that you can gain experience.
No, I don't need experience. I'm already guaranteed a promotion. It'll be better this way since I can check for any mistakes you make while translating it into English. If you understand, then hurry up and prepare for our presentation in 2 weeks.
Good morning, Miss Forbes. You aren't here yet. Are you going to be late? We have a meeting with D Corporations from 1500. I also have a few questions regarding the English presentation you made. You see, I don't quite understand what you're trying to say in a few places.
Oh, sorry. I caught a cold and can't speak well.
What? Really? But the representatives from D Corporations came all the way from America, so we can't just really cancel this meeting. That means we have to get someone else to do the presentation you were supposed to do.
Why don't you do it?
What?
I'm saying that you should do the presentation in English instead of me.
Well, I guess that's the best option. The presentation was only finished yesterday, and I'm the only other person who's seen it yet.
But you can't speak English, right? You're just a 65-year-old part-time worker. It can be helped, so I guess I'll have to come.
I understand. I'll do the English presentation in your place.
What? Are you being serious?
Do you have any objections?
Can you even speak English?
A bit, yes. Anyways, I have to go over some things with the others, so bye now.
Stop trying to act tough.
Take care with your cold.
Fine, it's not my problem if you embarrass yourself. Are you serious? You can speak English that well?
Oh, you came to the meeting halfway through, right? How's your cold?
Who cares about that? Why are you so good at English?
Well, I was the head of the International Relations Department before I retired.
What? The International Relations Department? That's the most elite department in this company. And you were the head?
Right now, I'm working as a part-time worker since I had to retire. Also, I studied language in college, which is where I learned to speak English.
You graduated college? I thought you were just a high school graduate.
When did I say such a thing? Besides, you shouldn't judge people on their academic backgrounds.
What?
Well, the presentation went well since I took your place, so everything ended up alright, I guess.
What do you mean?
Your translation was full of mistakes.
What? Like where?
Basic spelling and grammar. There were some parts where I couldn't even understand what you were saying.
What?
We needed to hand in the presentation by noon, so I quickly fixed all your mistakes. I can't imagine what would have happened if you turned in that presentation.
No way! Are you sure I made so many mistakes? Yes, I am. Or would you like me to show the others the presentation you made? I wouldn't if I were you. It's a bit ironic though. Thanks to me taking your place, we were able to make a $5 million deal with D Corporations. What? We were able to make a $5 million because you took my place? Why do I have to be fired? I was just supposed to be promoted and become an executive at this company right away. This wasn't supposed to happen.
You made a promise with the CEO, right? You promised that you wouldn't use your connections with him to do harm. and that you wouldn't look down on others just because you knew him. And that you would be humble and listen to what the senior employees said. Maybe you didn't do anything immediately harmful with your connections, but you obviously looked down on everyone you met. You were only hired because the CEO took pity on you, since you couldn't find a job after graduating, right? Yet you still took such an arrogant attitude. That's how you returned his kindness, so no wonder he got mad.
Please, Mrs. Zimmerman, can you convince them to hire me again?
Why?
You used to be the head of the International Affair Department, right? They'll listen to what you say.
But I'm just a part-time worker now. I have no right to interfere in such matters.
Just try telling them.
Impossible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Please, I'm begging you.
It seems you wouldn't understand unless I tell you this directly. I don't want to work with you, Miss Forbes.
Huh? What do you mean?
You're finished with what you have to say now, right?
Mrs. Zimmerman?
Bye. Miss Forbes faked her illness on the day of the meeting with D Corporations. Not that I ever believed she was actually sick. She was planning on making me do the presentation instead of her. And to come in halfway through to save the day. She didn't expect me to be able to speak English so fluently. The CEO found out about what she was trying to do and got mad and forced her to resign. Her parents were pretty disappointed in her as well. She tried finding a new job, but failed miserably. So she instead tried to get married. She fell in love with a handsome man and they started living together. She now just lives with him and does everything he says.
Rick, are you okay? Did you get too nervous?
I'm really sorry for getting sick right before seeing your family. I didn't think I'd get a stomachache at such a time. I've always had a sensitive stomach, so I guess the thought of announcing our marriage made me nervous and got me sick. I'm at my doctor's office right now, and they're putting in an IV.
IV? I'm going to your hospital. Where are you?
It's okay. Since it's been a while since you've been at your parents' home, you should relax. I'll go visit again.
But I'm worried about you.
I'm really sorry. My schedule wouldn't allow me to go to your parents for long, and just when I was finally going to go meet them, I suddenly get this upset stomach just a footsteps away from their house.
Well, you can't help it if you get a stomachache. I also got so nervous and had a heartache when I went to meet your parents, you know.
Please apologize to them for me. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it, even though they worked out the schedule for us.
That's okay. My parents are just worried, not angry.
I'll set up another date to visit them again. After this IV drip, I'm going to get some lab tests just to make sure I'm fine. He's my family doctor, so he knows me better than myself. He's even willing to admit me for a full checkup. I'll leave it in the doctor's hands.
I've never noticed you had a sensitive stomach.
Well, it's only when I'm under a lot of pressure or when I'm extremely nervous. I'm sorry for leaving you alone to come to the hospital when I suddenly got this stomachache right in front of your house.
I'm okay. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but we were supposed to announce the marriage today and then go check out the wedding venue the following weekend, right? You want to postpone it just in case?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's a good idea to go ahead planning the wedding without officially announcing it to your parents. I'm sorry, but could you cancel the appointment?
Of course, I'll let them know.
Thank you. I'm just in the hospital for a checkup. I'll call you when I'm settled.
Okay. If you need me to do any house chores or cooking or anything, just let me know.
Thank you.
Take care. Nice to meet you. I hope I have the right number for Anna. Who is this? I'm glad you responded. I was afraid that you might ignore me. My name is Rosalie. Doesn't my name ring a bell? I'm sorry. It doesn't. Oh my God, you really are insensitive. I'm the daughter of the president of the construction company where your current fiancé, Rick, works. The president's daughter? How do you know my number? Why would you contact me? Rick gave me your number. Rick told you? Why? Because I wanted to speak with you directly. How can I help you? Let me get straight to the point. I'd like you to break up with Rick. Break up? Too much insensitivity is not cute. Be careful. I'm sorry. What on earth is that supposed to mean? Why is there talk of him and I breaking up? We're engaged, you know. But he hasn't even met your parents yet. Isn't that right? How do you know about that? Of course, because Rick told me. He told me he couldn't make it to your parents' place. We were just about to set up a new schedule. But he hasn't set up a schedule for over a month, right? Shouldn't you have noticed by now that he has no intention of marrying you? He has no intention of getting married? He's postponed the wedding and the meeting with both of your families. Not a single thing is in progress, right? Then you should have guessed. He has no intention of marrying you at all. He'd rather break up with you. Wait a minute. He said that? Yes, that's what he's been saying. I heard it with my own ears. We've been seeing each other every day lately. You see each other every day? We go on dates after work and on weekends too, to develop our romantic relationship. Does that mean he's been cheating on me? We're engaged. You knew that, right? Well, you're about to break off the engagement, right? How can he date another woman when he's engaged in the first place? It's your fault, you know. Because you're poor. Poor? He said you seem to wear nice things, but it turns out that you're actually poor. What? I am not poor. But your parents' house looks shabby, doesn't it? We live on the 12th floor of a luxury tower apartment. My father is the president of a construction company, so he used his connections to move into the newly built tower complex. I need Rick to become the next president of our company. Please break up with him quickly. The next president? That man? I'm going to support him as his wife. Dad always said he wanted a son who would be his right-hand man. Then it would be quicker for me to get a son-in-law who would be taken in by my family. Let me get this straight. In other words, you're the daughter of the president of Rick's company. He said my parents were poor and switched to you. That means he cheated on me, right? I guess that's what it means. But it's your fault that he cheated on you, so please accept it. He showed me a picture of your parents' house that he took secretly. I was surprised at how old it looked. It's in shambles and seems like a tower apartment is just a dream you will never realize. That house is for poor people to live in. Yes, it's old, but it's a valuable piece of architecture. Of course, a house so old and run down that makes people wonder if it's possible to live in must be very valuable. I had never seen a house like that before, so I thought it was a fossil. Fossil. Well, to sum it up, you are poor. Rick's future was uncertain, so he decided to marry me, the president's daughter, to become the next president. That's why I've gone out of my way to contact you to ask you to do me a favor, to break up with him. Do you understand? I understand very well. It's hard to imagine that marriage would be on the table in just a month. I'm sure you've been in a relationship for a long time. Two-timing with me. You're right. You're perceptive there. I'm glad to know you weren't just an insensitive old woman. To tell the truth, we've been dating for a long time. I mean, Rick is my type of guy. But he said he already had a girlfriend, so I had to go all out. He's mine now. I'll have a talk with him. Of course. Neither his will nor my feelings will change one bit, though. But please go ahead and try your best. Rick, what's going on? I just got a call from someone who claims to be the daughter of the president of your company. She told me that you don't want to marry me.
Yeah, that's all true.
Seriously?
I've been trying to figure out how to bring it up. You know, I'm a gentleman. I don't like seeing women sad, so I didn't want you to cry, even if I was breaking up with you.
Is that why you gave her my number?
Well, I think Rosalie covered up most of the part. So, let's break up. I can't be with someone who can't share my values.
Values?
I just can't have poor people as my family. I don't want your parents to take advantage of me in the future.
They would never do such a thing.
I was surprised when I saw that wrecked house. I figured you're the kind of person who wants to show off. You know, the things you were wearing were nice things. But your parents were poor. I didn't realize you were one of those people with a big ego, overdressed and trying to look greater than they actually are.
Was that actually all a lie? About the stomachache and going to the hospital upon seeing my parents' house? Also having a sensitive stomach when having nerves?
Of course it's all a lie. If I went in there and introduced myself to your parents, I wouldn't be able to escape, would I?
No way.
I weighed you and Rosalie, but your looks were more my type. Rosalie is too spoiled with money. You were wearing brand-name clothes, and you didn't seem to have any financial problems. I thought I could have a better future with you. But if your parents are poor, that would be a different story, wouldn't it?
I'm not poor.
I can't believe your words. I saw it with my own eyes. The wretched state of your house. Rosalie said she'd make me president if I married her. It seems like my life would be easier if I switched to her, so I'll marry her.
You don't think that's irresponsible?
Not really. I'm just making the best choice for my future happiness.
And that means breaking up with me?
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have a rich girl than you, whose parents' house is old-fashioned on a fossil level. I can't marry a girl from a poor family.
Okay, don't regret it.
I won't.
We didn't even discuss the details of the wedding. It's a good thing we weren't living together. We'll just say goodbye and stay out of each other's lives. Deal?
Don't dwell on me. Hey, return my messages.
Why all of a sudden? I thought the deal was to stay out of each other's lives.
You didn't block my number. The truth is that you wanted to get in touch with me, right?
I simply forgot about you.
You don't have to lie. I don't mind getting back together with you. That's why I contacted you.
Are you trying to get back together because you saw on Facebook that I bought a cottage in Hawaii?
No. Of course not. There are some things you can see when you're apart from each other. I realized you're better than Rosalie.
No need to patch things up. It's true I bought a cottage in Hawaii, but I'm never gonna get back together with you.
Why not?
Don't you remember you cheated on me and then dumped me without a second thought?
I didn't know that you were making enough money to buy a vacation home in Hawaii. Come to think of it, it's your family that's poor, not you. You even own luxury goods. As long as we keep a reasonable distance from your parents, we'll be fine.
It was my father who bought me that cottage in Hawaii.
Your father? What?
Actually, my father is much wealthier than I am. I think he has more money than the president of the construction company you work for.
No way. What are you talking about? I mean, that house was such a wreck.
It's a very old house, that's for sure. It's so old that it became a registered historic property.
A registered historic property?
It was built in the 1700s. To someone who doesn't know much about history, it just looks like an old house. But I've always been very proud of my parents' house. So I was shocked by our differences in values.
Wait, the 1700s?
My family has been a landowner for generations. And not just in that area. We've been doing a lot of real estate business, and we own land all over the country. So, my parents have several holiday homes. It was hard to schedule a time to meet them, wasn't it? That's because they don't spend much time at their old house.
Real estate business? Have land all over the country? You mean they're super rich?
I don't know about annual sales or that sort of thing. But I don't remember having any financial problems since I was a little kid. By the way, I heard that they bought the top floor of a newly built tower apartment as a vacation home recently. I heard Rosalie's parents live on the 12th floor of the same building.
The top floor of that tower building? Only people of a very high status can live there. You're kidding, right? Does that mean I missed out on a woman with more money than Rosalie?
It's rude to judge a woman's worth by money.
Anna, let's get back together after all. We can start over right now.
There's no way we can get back together. You've been so open about your feelings and dumped me on the spot. Do you still think there's a way to fix it? Do you really think I still have feelings for you?
I don't need to become the next president. I just want to be with you.
Don't lie to me. Anyone can see through your lies. There's no way you can be the next president in the first place.
No, if I choose Rosalie, I'll be the next president and she'll be the next wife of the president, right?
Wait, that construction company is in trouble, right?
What are you talking about?
Are you telling me that the employees at the end of the line don't know anything about this? Well, you're going to find out very soon anyway. I'm sure it'll be in the news today or tomorrow. It's a well-known story in the real estate industry. A construction company that's been making money out of pretty dirty deals is finally getting sued.
Sued?
In the last year or so, the real estate companies that do business properly have been cutting ties with the construction company you work for. Don't you remember I made several recommendations to you to look for other jobs?
I recall something like that.
It was tough for an individual to sue, but recently, a patron appeared and promised to help those who wouldn't sue the company because they didn't have the money. He promised to help them pay all their legal fees.
What the hell?
And then, one after another appeared, and all the individuals who were troubled by the defective houses made by the construction company started to gather together. The group grew into a kind of victims group for lawsuits. That patron prepared a good lawyer who knows about real estate and construction. It's going to be a big class action lawsuit.
I've never heard of such a thing. What happens if they lose the case?
The company will probably go bankrupt when the huge damage claim comes through. The president might have to think about disposing of the condo and other assets he owns.
Then, if the company goes to court and loses, I won't be able to become the next president. Does that mean the president and his daughter Rosalie will both be in poverty?
I don't know about that.
So you're saying that I should have chosen you instead of Rosalie?
I can't say anything about that either.
Oh, right. Your father owns a real estate company, right, Anna? I worked for a construction company, so I'm not from the wrong field. Please hire me. We'll also set up the meeting with your parents right away to announce our wedding.
Sorry to interrupt your excitement, but I have no intention of starting over with you at all. My mother already set me up with a matchmaker. I'm going on a date with a decent guy this weekend.
A matchmaker? A date?
I liked your personality, Rick, but it seems like that was disguise. I know exactly what you are now. I'll never fall in love with you again.
Don't say that. You should have given me another chance.
You had your chance, didn't you? I don't know if I should say this, but you had a great chance to ride on the other side of the coin. But because of your lack of knowledge, you judged that house to be trash when it was a historical cultural asset. You irresponsibly threw your chance away and ran away.
But I didn't know.
Not knowing is an excuse for kids. Well, I have to go order some new furniture for my vacation home in Hawaii. Bye.
Wait a minute. Anna?
Next time, I'll remember to block you and delete your contact info. I blocked and erased his contacts, so I don't know the details. Apparently, the lawsuit was reported in the media by the end of the day, and the construction company quickly went bankrupt. According to my father's story, there was an empty room on the 12th floor of the tower apartment. They probably got rid of the property as well. It is unclear if he and Rosalie are still together. A friend of mine recently told me that he posted on SNS that he was lonely and miserable. I guess he has broken up with his girlfriend and is enjoying being alone, in a way.